Hello, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with the Earl Brothers. My name is Nicholas Earl, joined here by my brother Tim, and today it's time to grade some teams for their off seasons. Now, we're not doing S, A, B, C, D, E, F, nothing like that. We have 7 tiers that I wanted to focus on. I wanted to make it a little more interesting, so I wanted to come up with some fun tiers. So we have all in on the top. These are the teams that made the big splashes. They made the big moves. They made big improvements. We have improved, meaning we expect your team to be better in 2026 because of the moves you made. Slightly improved. They may be improved by maybe a win or two type of offseason. Run it back, which is just.
We do have some teams set for that one.
I
feel like that one's kind of like the cheap category, but yeah.
Yes and no. I definitely have a team I have circled for that one, and
I have 2.
Well, 2. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I know the other one. Yeah. For that category, slightly worse. They got worse, and is it 2027? Meaning teams that sold and are not going are not.
Can we put in an extra category called Cleveland Guardians? I think they made one move.
I think that's run it back.
Something like that, yeah.
So let's get it started, and we will get it started in the in the National League West with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let me get up the Diamondbacks. Under free agency, they picked up Jalen Beeks. That's it through free agency. They made a lot of moves through the trade deadline, acquiring Nolan Arenado. They re-signed Zach Gallen. Notable acquisitions. My bad. Jalen Beeks is a pending free agent. My bad. He's a pending free agent right now. Nolan Arenado, they got in a trade. Zach Gallen, they re-signed. They signed Merrill Kelly to a 2-year deal. Michael Soroka to a 1-year deal. Carlos Santana still playing baseball in the year 2026. James McCann re-signed a 1-year deal. Paul Sewald, Taylor Clark, both signed 1-year deals. Cade Strout, and Josh Groves prospects they got in trades with the Orioles and the Rockies, and they signed Joe Ross to a minor league deal. They traded away Blaze Alexander to the Orioles. They traded away Jake McCarthy to the Rockies, and they traded away relief pitcher Kyle Buckus to the Philadelphia Phillies this offseason. I don't really know what to think about the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. They did make a lot of acquisitions, but did it really help them that much? Maybe they slightly improved. I feel like a lot of their improvement's going to be through players getting healthy on their bullpen specifically, so that makes me a little nervous. Am I wrong to think slightly improved? Because they did add a lot, but it wasn't significant adds.
Yeah, and you got to consider like players coming back as additions sometimes. Like bringing back Zach Gallen, they didn't have to. They did. Like that was still because I know we kind of can view that the same deal with like Kyle Schwarber with the Phillies. And it's like, oh, they brought him back. Well, they still signed a free agent.
Yes.
Merrill Kelly, I love bringing him back. I've been a big Merrill Kelly guy. I hated when he left to go to Texas. And I'm happy that he's back in Arizona. The rest of them are kind of like Santana's still playing baseball. McCann is still playing baseball. Shout out to former ECU Pirate Josh Groves. He was part of the trade. That was a Jake McCarthy trade. Blaze Alexander to the Orioles. He wasn't really going to get much playing time, although that's kind of the deal with the Orioles needed somebody to replace Jackson Holiday for a little bit. So I kind of like that for them. But overall, they got slightly better, maybe, but they're still not really a team that's all that crazy for me.
All right, let's move on. The Atlanta Braves is the next team. Taking a look at their additions and subtractions, they have no pending free agents at the moment. Acquisitions: Robert Suarez to a 3-year deal. Hae-Sung Kim re-signed to a 1-year deal, but he's going to be missing most of the season with a broken thumb. Mike Yastrzemski, which I kind of like that move. He's a solid above-average hitter. Raisel Iglesias re-signing him in the bullpen. Mauricio Dubon. They acquired him from the Astros in that trade. they signed Martin Perez to a minor league deal, Jorge Mateo to a 1-year deal, Jonah Heim to a 1-year deal, and then some relievers here with Tyler Kinley. They re-signed him, as well as Joel Payams, Danny Young to a 1-year deal, Ian Hamilton to a 1-year deal, Kyle Farmer to a minor league deal. They lost Marcelo Ozuna, which is addition by subtraction in my eyes. Alek Manoah, they lost him as well, which he was a minor league waiver pickup last year. Nick Allen, who they got in the trade with the Astros, and then Pierce Johnson went to the Reds. Another tricky team. Starting off with two tricky teams, and I think they slightly improved.
They definitely improved.
I don't think it's a significant improvement. And a lot of their improvements would be from bounce backs and players getting healthy because Ozzy Albies can't be much worse than he was last year. Ronald Acuna Jr. could be healthy the whole year. But the problem is Jurickson Profar is now suspended, and they're dealing with so much pitching injuries, which if this was a letter grade, I would probably give them maybe a C- or a D for this offseason because they did not address starting pitching other than a Martin Perez minor league contract, which makes me want to put them, lower, but their acquisitions, they slightly improved, I guess.
I kind of like the acquisitions. Now they got one of the oldest 8th, 9th inning duos in baseball because I believe Robert Suarez is 38 and Iglesias is 39.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought those two guys back. Mike Yastrzemski, if he could stay healthy, cool. Ha-Seong Kim signed the deal and then broke his finger slipping on
ice in
Korea, which is just kind of, I don't want to say it's funny, but that's kind of like a weird injury. Dubon is going to play shortstop a bunch with that Kim injury. Martin Perez, I liked Martin Perez when he was pitching. He might be a little bit past his prime now, but we'll see with him. Jonah Heim's going to be a decent backup. That's kind of telling me that Sean Murphy might be DHing more and whatnot. Getting rid of Marcelo Ozuna is probably the best thing that they did all offseason. Including, I see notable subtractions. Alek Manoah. I didn't even realize Alek Manoah was on the Braves.
Yeah, he was a minor league guy.
I figured as much, but I didn't realize he was even on the games, which is just hilarious. But overall, I would put him more in the run it back. The only needle moving move is Robert Suarez, so I would put him in running it back.
Okay, I can make that argument. I wanted to put him in slightly worse potentially as well, so I think that's a nice split of the middle of slightly improved and slightly worse. They're running back, and hopefully for Braves fans, it's not as bad as it was last year, but as a Mets fan, I would love for it to be as bad as last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Baltimore Orioles, which on paper look like they had one of the better off seasons, is just, I guess, Pete Alonso to a 5-year deal where they were bidding against themselves because I think everybody else.
Hey, that's still a big bet to get into your lineup.
Nice bet.
I love the move for Baltimore to get Pete.
I feel like their target, the first few guys, were former Mets because they got Pete Alonso, they got Chris Bassett to a 1-year deal, they got Ryan Helsley to a 2-year deal. Shane Baz, I really like that move. He is somebody that I am absolutely buying stock in Shane Baz this year.
I'm going to mention him in a future video, so we'll definitely talk more about Shane Baz.
Yeah, Taylor Ward signed with them as well. Zach Eflin re-signed. They got Blaze Alexander in that trade with the Diamondbacks. They got reliever Andrew Kittredge in that trade with the Cubbies. They got Leody Taveras to a 1-year deal and Albert Suarez to a minor league deal, starting pitcher there. They did trade away Grayson Rodriguez, which
okay with it.
If he's tricky. I don't know what to expect from him. Jorge Mateo, they got that he went to the Braves. Tomoyuki Sagano went to the Rockies. Gary Sanchez went to the Brewers, and Cade Stroud they traded to the Diamondbacks. I think this is a pretty simple one. I think they're improved. I think the Baltimore Orioles improved this offseason. Now, do I wish they addressed more to the starting rotation? Absolutely, but I do think they improved.
What would it take for you to put them in all in?
An ace.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
Yes.
Personally, I would put them in all in. Because in my eyes, they did get an ace. I think Shane Baz is going to be freaking awesome. And spoiler, because I think we're doing bold takes or whatever. I think Shane Boggs gets top 5 Cy Young votes.
Ooh,
I think
yes.
he's going to be awesome. He's got nasty stuff. If he could stay healthy, that's going to be a huge move. And that's why I put him in all in, because I see them as that's the ace. They spent 4 prospects that were and a draft pick, which I think 3 out of the 4 were first-round picks, and the other ones was a second-round pick or something like that.
Yeah.
Something in that nature. So they traded a lot for him. I really like that move for him. I don't care if they bid it against themselves, grabbing Pete Alonso, one of the biggest power bats, and putting them in Camden Yards, which I believe he went there twice as a Met, and he's hit multiple home runs in that stadium. So he loves playing in Camden Yards, so we can kind of mark that as well. Chris Bassett is going to be depth piece for that rotation, which I think that rotation's kind of looking nice now. I kind of like it because I could definitely see Trevor Rogers having another good year, and Kyle Bradish if he could stay on the field. I really like that rotation. Helsley should be good back in the back bullpen because he's not in a big market anymore. Once again, I'm never going to give up on Zach Eflin. That's one guy that I'll give up on him in 6 years. Blaze Alexander, they picked him up basically to kind of fill in for Jackson Holiday when he comes back from the Hamlet bone. I'm okay with them trading away Grayson Rodriguez. I'm all right with that. You need a little more pop in the bat, and getting Taylor Ward was a very nice piece for him. The other players that left, I don't really care about, but I would personally put the Baltimore Orioles in all in.
Yeah, and if you're somebody who likes baseball cards, I'd look at some Shane Boggs rookies. I think that could be a nice little there. We'll head to the Boston Red Sox, which had an interesting offseason, and it was mainly done through the trade market rather than signing free agents for them. And for the Red Sox, scroll down because there we go. They still have 2 pending free agents. That's Lucas Giolito and it's Justin Wilson. They had a lot of in and outs this year. They signed Ranger Suarez to a 5-year deal. They traded and acquired Wilson Contreras. They traded and acquired Sonny Gray, Johan Oviedo, Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monastero, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. They signed him to a 1-year deal, and Brendan Rodgers, second baseman, to a minor league deal. Subtractions: Bregman went to the Cubs. Good old Dick Fitz was part of that trade to the Cardinals, as well as Brandon Clark and Hunter Dobbins. They traded Kyle Harrison to the Brewers in that Caleb Durbin trade, as well as David Hamilton. They traded Jordan Hicks to the White Sox. I believe that was, I don't remember that trade. I think that was for cash and stuff like that. Steven Matz went to the Rays. Dustin May went to the Cardinals. Rob Refsnyder went to the Mariners. The Password was traded to the Pirates. Liam Hendricks went to the Twins. Nathaniel Lowe went to the Reds. They had a lot of players go out. And I know that I like the Red Sox. I do. I don't think the free agency helped them at all, though. I don't think this offseason helped them at all. Losing Bregman and losing some of the players they did, I think they got slightly worse.
I mean, I understand slightly worse. At the same time, they kind of did a bunch of flipping. In terms of losing Bregman, it was kind of replaced by Wilson Contreras. I think they're going to have pretty similar production this year. Now, Bregman's going to play a lot better defense. That's kind of a given. But in terms of at-bats, I think Wilson Contreras will put up comparable numbers. Ranger Suarez is going to be a good pitcher. I still think he was slightly overpaid for the pitcher that he is, but that's just me. Oviedo is going to be a nice piece. Durbin is going to be a solid. It could definitely be a good backup piece. They had a bunch of subtractions. I'm not super worried about a bunch of them because most of them were in trades. And a lot of them were excess pieces. So, honestly, I would put more slightly improved. I don't think they got worse. I think they slightly improved because the only big name that really would have put up a lot of playing time was Alex Bregman. In exchange, they got Wilson Contreras, and they added Suarez and Gray to their rotation. So no, I think they got better.
Fair. I run it back. I know they. I mean, I feel like run it back is going to be like they didn't improve,
They didn't
but
really
they didn't.
yeah, they kind of exchanged pieces, but they're kind of.
I thought they got slightly worse. I can hear the argument for run it back. It's just I don't know with this Red Sox team. I think that them improving is their prospects coming up and being dudes.
Exactly.
It's Roman Anthony. It's Marcelo Meyer. It's Christian Campbell. It's players like that. Those are the ones I'm looking at there.
For sure.
The Chicago Cubs, which they are an interesting team that made some moves this offseason. Let's get into them here. They do have one pending free agent, Justin Turner. They added a lot. They also got rid of a decent amount. Alex Bregman, 5-year deal. Edward Cabrera, they acquired him from the Marlins. They re-signed Shota Imanaga to the qualifying offer. They acquired a bunch of relievers. Hunter Harvey to a 1-year deal. Phil Maton to a 1-year deal. They re-signed Thebar to a 1-year deal. Shelby Miller to a 2-year deal. Holby Miller to a 1-year deal. Jacob Webb to a 1-year deal. They signed first baseman Tyler Austin to a 1-year deal. And Michael Conforto to a minor league deal. Kind of interested with that one there. Obviously, there's subtractions. The big one here is Kyle Tucker. But other than that, okay, maybe Brad Keller. Brad Keller is a big subtraction. He signed with the Phillies. Andrew Kittredge went to the Orioles in a trade. Willie Castro went to the Rockies. Michael Soroka went to the D-backs. Drew Pomeranz to the Angels. Taylor Rogers to the Twins. Eli Morgan to the Royals. Owen Casey was the trade with Edward Cabrera. Carlos Santana to the Diamondbacks. Aaron Savali to the Athletics. Ryan Brazier to the Rangers. And looking at this team, yeah, Kyle Tucker is a tough pill to swallow, losing him in the offseason. But even with that, I think the Cubbies improved. And I think that they're right up there with the way that the Orioles improved. I really like the additions to their bullpen to make that even more solidified. I love the addition of Edward Cabrera. I like the addition for Alex Bregman. I think this Cubbies team improved.
I think so too. I look at it going, you lost Kyle Tucker. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do for each one of these teams, by the way. I'm just going to list off the players that are of significance. Losing Kyle Tucker, you weren't really going to re-sign him to begin with. Let's be honest, the Cubs don't spend money.
Of course.
Other than that, everybody else either wasn't going to get playing time. I mean, Kittredge was traded. Brad Keller was pretty good, but other than that, I don't really see anybody. Drew Pomeranz, sure, like that would be nice to get him back. But they traded Owen Casey. He wasn't going to get playing time. The additions of Alex Bregman, I really like. Edward Cabrera, I really like. I think he's going to be solid this year. Shota Imagino, he accepted a qualifying offer. Hey, just adds more depth to the rotation. I'm never going to say no to more pitching. And then they bolstered the bullpen. So, yeah, I think they're improved. I would be close to putting them in all. I would be tempted to put them in all in, but, like, they didn't. What, in terms of all in category, what are you thinking of? Like, how many teams?
If they didn't lose Kyle Tucker.
If they didn't lose Kyle
Tucker, they're an all in.
That's fair.
If they re-sign Kyle Tucker, they're an all in. But I still think they improved.
That's fair.
Which is very tough to do considering they lost Kyle Tucker.
I still like the moves they made. And to me, they lost Kyle Tucker, but I never saw them signing Kyle Tucker to begin with. So
that's fair. That is fair.
But Cubs improved. Good.
Yep. Chicago White Sox. I feel like they improved a little bit too. The acquisitions, they have no pending free agents at the moment. They acquired infielder Munetaka Murakami to a 2-year deal. Love that deal. I think that he can be really good. Sir Anthony Dominguez as well to a 2-year deal. Anthony Kay returning to the MLB on a 2-year deal. Jordan Hicks, they acquired him from the Red Sox trade, which I think was just like cash and stuff. Austin Hayes to a 1-year deal. They acquired Luis Angel Acuna in the trade with the Mets for Luis Robert, which we'll talk about Robert in a second. Sean Newcomb to a 1-year deal. Jared Kelenic, former Met prospect that was part of the Diaz trade. And Eric Fetty also re-signed with them there. They lost Luis Robert Jr. with the trade at the Mets. They also lost Martin Perez to the Braves. Tyler Anderson to the Rangers, Michael A. Taylor retired, Miguel Castro to the Angels, Mike Tauchman to the Mets. All things considered, do I dare say that they improved?
Yes.
Or they improved, but with it considered, is it 2027?
Yeah,
Or do they belong in slightly improved because they're still a bad baseball team, but they're going to go from 60-something wins to 70-something wins?
I think they could be high 70 wins. Yeah, I like this. I like what they did. I'm a big fan of. I would put them improved. And the way I look at it, is it 2027 is kind of reserved for like the Colorado Rockies.
The Nationals. Do we want to just...
Here, go ahead. Put the Colorado Rockies in, is it 2027 yet? Along with the Washington Nationals and the Twins.
I want to talk about the Twins.
We'll talk about the Twins, but Twins are going to go to, is it 2027? Yeah, because I hate what they did. But anyways, I really like what the White Sox did. Munetaka Murakami. It's going to be somebody that, if he hits well in the beginning of the year and the White Sox aren't as good as we think they are, that could be a trade piece.
Absolutely.
Same with Sir Anthony Dominguez. Same with Anthony Kay. Like a lot of these pieces. Luis Angel Acuna is actually going to get playing time. He was never going to get playing time with the Mets. I love that move. They've been trying to trade Luis Robert for a while, or Roberts for a while. Other than that, all the other players were kind of insignificant. So, in my opinion, I still think White Sox 100% improved.
Fair. Move on to the next team?
Yeah.
Cincinnati Reds. Let's take a look. Pending free agents, Zach Littell, Wade Miley. It's only two pitchers there. Acquisitions, Suarez to a 1-year deal, Bleday to a 1-year deal, Pagan re-signed for a 2-year deal, Pierce Johnson 1-year deal, Caleb Ferguson 1-year deal, Brock Burke in that 3-team trade with the Angels and the Rays, Dane Myers to trade with the Marlins, and then Nathaniel Lowe to a minor league deal. Improved a little bit on the bullpen there. Interesting there. Tim, some subtractions?
They lost Gavin Lux. That was in a 3-team trade with the Angels and the Rays. They acquired. They lost Austin Hayes. He went and signed with the White Sox. Miguel Andujar, which I wish they kept him around. He went to the Padres. Brent Suter ended up signing with the Angels. Scott Barlow signed with the Athletics. That's a relief pitcher that I kind of wish. If you're the Reds, you kind of wish he would have stayed. And Nick Martinez. I figured he was such a Red, but he did not end up getting to where they wanted to. He was one of the few players that accepted a mutual agreement last year. So
no qualifying offer.
I thought it was a
Mutual
option.
Nick Martinez?
Yeah.
Was a qualifying offer.
Oh, he was a QO.
He was a QO. He was the only QO.
That's right.
Mutual option hasn't been accepted since like 2012.
Never mind. But not a lot of subtractions. And the subtractions that they did have weren't really all that significant. In terms of the team, running back, I kind of had them there. I love I'm going to give the Reds credit. Contract of the offseason, 1 year, $15 million for Eugenio Suarez. Like, God, what a steal.
That's a big boomer bust one, but yeah, I could see that.
Because he could easily hit 40 bombs this year. Easily. And that's 100% worth it. Where you're paying less than $1 million a home run, I think that's worth it. Like, you're paying like $400,000 a home run if he hits 40, something like that.
Yeah.
Worth it. JJ Bleday, I really like that signing as well. All the rest of them are kind of whatever. I think they kind of run it back.
Fair. We'll move on to the next one, which I feel like run it back would be, I feel like that's actually perfect for them. The Cleveland Guardians, no free agents pending at the moment. They signed Colin Holderman, Sean Armstrong to 1-year deals, Reese Hoskins to a minor league deal.
All those within like the last month.
Yeah. And then their subtractions, they've got all of 6. Will Brennan went to the Giants. Trisha McKenzie to the Padres. John Means to the Royals. I even know John Means was on the Guardians.
I forgot that he was still playing.
Jakob Junis to the Rangers. Sam Hedges to the Giants. Lane Thomas to the Royals. I mean, is there a more running back team than the Cleveland Guardians? And
No.
I actually two. There's two that we still need to talk about that are definitely running back teams.
Yes.
But I mean, they did nothing. This Guardians team did nothing.
They did nothing. And I'm going to be one of the big advocates for this. Ready? The biggest problem in baseball is not the Dodgers. It's teams like the Guardians.
Feels like, did they get slightly worse?
Running back, honestly. They're a running back because they didn't really lose anything. No. If they got slightly worse, it's because of Lane Thomas. He got a bunch of at-bats last year, but I'm not really overly whatever about him. Guardians pissed me off with their offseason. Do more. I will give them credit because they gave an extension to Jose Ramirez, but
what a slap in the face to do absolutely nothing.
Why would he do that? Like, I don't understand why J-Ram would take the offer, the extension, because they're not spending any money. And if anything, yeah, maybe they did get slightly worse because guess what else they don't have? Emmanuel Clase. So that should be under notable subtractions as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't an off-season thing. But yeah, I get that.
He fully got suspended in the offseason.
I'm glad. You know what? Do something.
Please do something.
I'm gonna put you on the bottom. Do something, please.
I kind of root for the Guardians because I love Gavin Williams. He was an ECU guy.
Guardians are too.
But come on, do something.
Talk about do something. We actually have a team that actually did something this offseason. And for one, they didn't trade Tariq Skubal.
Yes, we'll give them credit for that, I guess.
Two current.
You know what? No, screw that. I'm not giving them credit for that one.
You don't trade Tariq Skubal.
You don't trade Tariq Skubal. B, you don't go to arbitration against them. That was bullshit. But anyways, go ahead.
Yep, they have two pending free agents, Alex Cobb and Tommy Kahnle. Tim, some additions for them.
Framber Valdez. 3-year deal for, what was it, 115? I believe it was 115.
Something along those lines.
With an opt-out after the second year. He is the replacement for Tariq Skubal next year because they are not signing Tariq Skubal next year because he's going to demand 8 years, 400, something in that range.
Yeah.
And he's going to get it. Justin Verlander is a fun story, per se. Gleyber Torres accepted a qualifying offer. I love Jansen in the back of the bullpen. I love re-signing Kyle Finnegan in the back of the bullpen. So those are, and then they also signed Drew Anderson and Austin Slater to a minor league deal, but I don't really care about those. Subtractions, Jason Foley, Jose Urquidy, which is going to get some innings with Pittsburgh this year. I kind of like that move for them. Chase Lee was a trade piece to the Blue Jays. That was in exchange for, I don't remember who they traded for. It says trade with the Blue Jays. Chris Paddock, which he had a weird year last year. Sewald and Rafael Montero to back up the bullpen. I don't hate that all in. I saw you put them in all in tab. They kept Skubal. They didn't trade him. They got Framber Valdez and built up the rotation. I wish they got one more bat. But other than that, I'm happy with it. And although I feel like they would have gotten another bat if they won the arbitration case with Tariq Skubal, but guaranteed Tariq Skubal went into the arbitration case with both of his Cy Young awards, like Tim Lincecum did with the Giants, and that meeting lasted about 4 minutes. So,
yeah. No, I think all in.
Yep.
Framber Valdez is an all-in move. Not trading Tariq Skubal is an all-in move.
Yep.
Re-signing Gleyber Torres to a qualifying offer, I thought was a great move for them because I thought he was going to get a multi-year deal. Love the addition in the back of the bullpen, Kenley Jansen and Kyle Finnegan, and they really got rid of nothing of significance at all for them. So yeah, no, I'm yeah. The Tigers are that's an all-in team for me this year. The Astros are next on our list here. It feels like they didn't have a huge offseason. I'm getting them up right now.
But I don't think they needed to.
No, they have no pending free agents right now. they made 5 additions. Tatsuya Imai to a 3-year deal, which is really a 1-year deal because they have an opt-out after this one. Mike Burrows, I like that move for them. Joey Loperfido, they got him back from the Blue Jays. They got Nick Allen in the Dubon trade with the Braves, and they got Ryan Weiss, who I believe is pitching for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic right now. Losing Framber Valdez, but I never saw him coming back. I guess that's a very similar situation with Kyle Tucker. I never saw him coming back.
Although I feel like it's slightly different, and the only reason why is there was a slight chance he could have came back, rather than like you knew who do you call it wasn't coming back. Yeah. You knew Tucker wasn't coming back.
They traded away Dubon, Jacob Melton in that 3-team trade with the Rays and the Pirates. Jesus Sanchez went to the Blue Jays. Ramon Urias to the Cardinals. Victor Carantini to the Twins. Craig Kimbrell to the Mets. And Brendan Rodgers to the Red Sox. It's a tricky one because, I mean, I like Mike Burrows. I like Tatsuya Imai. But I'm not going to say they improved because they did lose Framber Valdez in the offseason. They did lose some pieces. I feel like they got slightly worse. Like, I feel like they're still a good team, but I don't feel like they improved in the offseason.
I don't think they improved. I think that I would go more with run it back. And the way I kind of view it, because I said the same thing with the Red Sox with, they lost Bregman, but they brought in 2 guys. They lost Valdez, but they bring in Tatsuya Imai, which Tatsuya Imai can have a very similar production to Framber Valdez. Could. So I would have them with run it back. Their big acquisition for me, can Yordan Alvarez play the entire year?
Yeah.
That would be, see, I know we're just viewing the notable acquisitions and subtractions. I also look at it as, like, we talked about the Braves. Can we get a full season of Ronald Acuna Jr.? Can we get a full season of, like, can we get certain players staying healthy? And I see those as acquisitions if they didn't have them the year before.
That's fair.
You didn't have Yordan Alvarez. I think you had him for a game or 2.
Yeah, for me, we're grading their offseason. We're not grading their roster.
Correct. I know where to. But I do kind of put a little bit of that in my grading with them, just because they were bad. Like, they barely missed the playoffs last year. They're getting Yordan Alvarez back. They brought in Tatsuya Imai. Like, I know that they didn't sign Yordan to a deal or whatever, but I see that as an acquisition as well. I know it's not. I would have them as running back.
Yeah, I mean, and I know your argument for running back is Yordan being healthy again, but I'm
that's fine. You can have it a slightly worse. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Next team I love this year.
Go for it, Tim. We got the Kansas City Royals additions and subtractions. Go.
They brought in Matt Strahm, which I freaking love. He was solid with the Phillies. Now he gets to go to a smaller market, less pressure team. I think he's going to flourish again. They brought in Lane Thomas to play outfield. Once again, another solid move. He's going to get you 2.5 to 3 WAR this year. And in an outfield that had struggled a lot, that is a huge piece. I love the Isaac Collins move. Now, they gave up they got Isaac Collins and Nick Mears for Angel Zerpa.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that move. Like, they needed another outfielder. You can never have too many outfield depth for the Royals, especially with some players that are just not up to the right area for their offensive production. Starling Marte, also a 1-year deal. I kind of like it. He's going to be your veteran in the line. Him and Salvador Perez, young guys bouncing ideas off of them. It's going to be great for the clubhouse. Then They also had some other pickups like Cameron Mitzer, Alex Lang, John Means, Eli Morgan, and Luke Malley. I'm not really none of those are going to go crazy for me. Those are just kind of depth pieces and minor league deals. They lost Mike Yastrzemski, which was horrible last year, so I'm not really worried about that one. They lost Michael Lorenzen. He's kind of on the decline. I'm not worried about that. They traded away Zerpa, whatever. MJ Melendez, I feel like, is a good bounce back candidate for the Mets coming up this year.
He was non-tendered.
He was non-tendered. Never mind. I did not see that. But they got rid of him. Hunter Harvey, I wish he kind of stayed because that was a good bullpen piece. Other than that, like Adam Frazier, Jonathan Bowland, and Taylor Clark, I'm not worried about the subtractions. I'll also mention, even though it was an extension, Miguel Garcia extended, what was it, 6 years,
5
$80
years?
million?
Something like that, 5 years.
5 or 6 years for $80 million.
Love that deal for them.
Love it. Love it. So that left side of the infield with Garcia and Bobby Witt may be the best left side of an infield in baseball, especially after his big year. Once again, if we can get a full year from Cole Reagans, it's a big acquisition for me. I think the Royals got better.
I feel like they made a lot of moves, but I don't know if there are many significant moves.
I would put them as slightly improved just because.
Slightly improved?
They improved their bullpen, which was kind of one of their weaknesses last year. And they got a bunch of outfield depth of players that are going to hit above 100 WRC plus in the outfield, which they did not really have last year. So no, I like the spot for them. I like the team.
Fair. We'll move on. Weird team here. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They acquired Grayson Rodriguez from the Orioles, Josh Lowe in a 3-team trade with the Rays and the Reds. Kirby Yates, they signed him to a 1-year deal. Alek Manoah to a 1-year deal. Vaughn Grisham, they acquired him in a trade with the Red Sox. Yohan Moncada re-signed a 1-year deal. Chris Taylor, minor league deal. Drew Pomeranz and Jordan Romano, 1-year deals. Brent Suter, 1-year deal. Hunter Strickland to a minor league deal. Adam Frazier to a minor league deal. They got rid of Taylor Ward in that trade to the Orioles. Kenley Jansen went to the Tigers. Kyle Hendricks retired. Luis Rengifo went to the Brewers. Brock Burke went in that 3-team trade. Luis Garcia signed with the Mets. Andrew Chafin with the Twins. I don't know what to do with this Angels team. I don't think they got better, but do they get slightly worse? Or is this another team that is at 2027?
It's 2027, yes. Man, like, you're in a big market. You're in LA. How do you not have more money to spend on players?
No, that's the problem. That's the thing, though. They have the money to spend. They just are stupid with it.
Sorry, yeah. Why don't you spend it? Grayson Rodriguez is I said I liked the move for the Orioles. I don't hate it for the Angels. If Grayson Rodriguez is healthy and can give you, say, 40 to 50 starts in these 3 years, that's a great deal for you. Like, that's going to eat innings. Josh Lowe, however you pronounce it. I like the move to get in a little bit of outfield depth. Alek Manoah is a joke. I'm surprised that he's still playing baseball. Yohan Moncada, can we ever quit him? Actually, I think he hit a
home run today
in the
for
World
Cuba.
Baseball Classic in Cuba. Yeah, I saw that today. I'm like, I can't quit on Yohan Moncada. Vaughn Grisham, once again, this would have been a great team if they were signing these players in
2019.
I'm not like they lost Jansen. That's bullpen piece. Hendricks retired. Yeah, he's a 2027. Yeah.
All right. Move on. I feel like this is one of the easy ones here. Dodgers
we don't have to. Yeah.
Let's quickly break it down. They still have 2 pending free agents, Tony Gonsolin and Michael Kopech. They didn't make many acquisitions, but the ones they did were pretty significant ones. Kyle Tucker to a 4-year deal. Edwin Diaz to a 3-year deal.
And you can stop there.
Miguel Rojas, Kike Hernandez, and Evan Phillips re-signed for 1-year deals. October Kike is going to come in. He's going to be just a stud in the playoffs. And they lost Kirby Yates, who went to the Angels. They traded Anthony Banda, and they also lost Michael Conforto. I feel like we don't need to talk much about the Dodgers. They went all in, and they're still all in.
Yeah, they looked at their thing that we went and won the World Series. What was our struggle? Bullpen and outfield. All right, let's go get the best 2 players. And They went and they spent a shit ton of money this year. this offseason.
Yep.
No, sorry, they didn't even spend a shit ton of money.
$60 million AAV to Kyle Tucker says otherwise. They're over $400 million.
They're over $400 million now. But in terms of contract values, they only spent $300 million this offseason for not. And if you're just looking for this year, they spent under $100 million.
Yeah,
they didn't yes, they're going all in. They're definitely the best team in baseball. If they don't win the World Series, then that's a failure.
Three-peat. Yeah. On to the next team, Fish Fam, stand up. The Miami Marlins. Owen Casey, they acquired in that Edward Cabrera trade. They signed Pete Fairbanks. They signed Christopher Morel, both of them to one-year deals. They acquired Esu Ruiz from the Dodgers. They got Chris Paddock on a one-year deal and John King on a one-year deal. They lose Edward Cabrera. They traded him to the Cubs. They traded away Ryan Weathers to the Yankees. They traded away Joey Wiemer to the Giants. They traded away Dane Myers to the Reds. They traded away Eric Wagaman to the Twins. Not a whole lot for the Marlins in the offseason. Trading away Cabrera, trading away Weathers, two arms I really like. I think Fish Fam got worse this year.
I agree. I wanted them to kind of make more of a push. I wanted them to make more I know they're on the outside and they're kind of building up, and this is another rebuild year, and that's fine. But there's some young guys on this team that I really wanted to see a little bit more with. Now, Fairbanks is probably going to be a player that you flip. I actually love Owen Casey being able to play for the Marlins this year because he was never going to be able to play with the Chicago Cubs because he was blocked. Although getting rid of Tucker, he probably could have put him in the outfield. But I love him going to be being able to get full run and no pressure. Other than that, you traded away Edward Cabrera, which you have plenty of pitching. Same with Weathers, you have plenty of pitching. But I wish they did a little bit more bringing in another veteran to kind of Marlins would have been a perfect spot for Verlander or Scherzer. Yes, I know they're not going to win, but that's a team that could use a player
or
like
Castellanos. I feel like Castellanos could.
That would have been good for Castellanos as well, but I don't know. I'm not really. Fish Fam, you got worse, but you're going to get better.
Yeah, they're going to trade some more pieces.
Your off season, you did not help yourself.
I was close to putting them in 2027 category, but I don't think they're a rebuilding team that anymore.
They're not. I'm pissed off with the next team.
Oh yeah, and and before I feel like they are the definition of run it back because and can hear me out because it feels like Brewers baseball.
Yeah, it is Brewers baseball. But I want to put them in slightly worse.
All right, go over their off seasons and make your argument.
Okay, Brandon Woodruff re-signed for the qualifying offer. That's good and bad.
He's the most expensive pitcher in Brewers history, AAV wise.
Yes. Because Brandon Woodruff not signing the qualifying offer put Freddie Peralta on a plate for anybody because they weren't going to keep both. They told us that. They did trade away Freddie Peralta, and I'm only mentioning that because the next two guys on the list were Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. Jet Williams is going to be on the opening day roster.
I think he can play some third base. He could be Caleb Durbin's replacement.
And I heard a little interview with Murphy. He loves Sproat. He absolutely loves Sproat. Yeah. Apparently, he's hitting 95, 96 now. So he's got some nasty stuff.
Would not be shocked to see him in the bullpen.
I would not
like they did with Woodruff and Burns.
Yeah. So those are two guys that are going to make impact. But at the end of the day, their prospects we don't know. We know what Freddie Peralta is. Peralta was an ace. Kyle Harrison, once again, that was another trade piece. That was for Caleb Durbin. And along with Andrew Monasterio, and I thought they traded somebody else with that. They traded all of their third base depth, but he's not on that list. They also got David Hamilton, which fine. Angel Zerpa, obviously Brewers see something with him if they're going to give up Isaac Collins.
Maybe they're selling high in Collins.
Could be that too. Luis Rengifo, Akil Baddoo, and Gary Sanchez. I feel like Baddoo is going to be one of the sneakiest ones on there.
He'll be like a Sal Frelick.
He's going to hit eighth and he's going to have like a 300 average. Like
he'll have a 280 batting average with a.
But I look at it. Why do I think this team got worse? And I know I mentioned Freddie Peralta already, but I mean they shit out pitching. So
I was going to say they can backload that.
But that is a big pitcher to lose. They lose Danny Jansen, which whatever. Caleb Durbin was solid. Reese Hopkins was injured all year. They traded away their third base depth, which kind of gives you the runway for certain players to move over and Jet Williams to get in the line. Shelby Miller, I wanted to see him stay. I liked Isaac Collins. Tobias Meyer. I really liked Tobias Meyer last year. I was very happy when he was part of the trade to the Mets.
Oh, yeah, I was thrilled with that one because that felt like the Sprout replacement.
Yep. Nick Mears, that's a solid bullpen piece. Eric Fetty was god-awful last year. And Jordan Montgomery, I forgot, was even on the team. So, but I still think that this team got worse in terms of the offseason, but this team's going to be just fine.
That's why I think it's run it back because it feels like they do the same bullshit every single year. They trade players that are running on a term. They acquire players with term, and they call it an offseason.
They do.
And we sit here wondering why the fuck can't they do more? So I think the Brewers are the ultimate definition of run it back. Minnesota Twins. This is a weird-ass team that I would like to buy into, but I don't know if I can because just what pisses me off is seeing them not trade Lopez or Joe Ryan.
Yeah,
and seeing
I wish we added a tier saying I'm pissed off with you.
Yeah, no.
And I kind of view that as we're running it back.
Yeah, because I'm pissed off at the Brewers offseason, but I'm not at the same time.
Why not?
Because it's the same Brewers bullshit every year. The Twins,
I'm pissed off with the Twins.
Oh, I'm not. They didn't really get rid of many players. That's the thing.
Exactly.
They did
that. They didn't do anything.
They did it at the trade deadline though. Because they got rid of Julian, they got rid of Pearson Ole in that trade to the Rockies. They acquired Victor Carantini on a 2-year deal, Josh Bell on a 1-year deal, Taylor Rogers on a 1-year deal, Liam Hendricks on a minor league deal, Anthony Banda in a trade with the Dodgers, Marcel Arcia to a minor league deal, Gio Urshela, and Andrew Chafin to minor league deals. Run it back? They're running back basically the same roster after the trade deadline as last year.
I want to put them in is it 2027 yet? They're not going to be good this year. And why am I so pissed off at them? They didn't trade Pablo Lopez. And now he's getting Tommy John surgery. You could have gotten something for him. Although, maybe they tried to trade him, and then the physical says, hey...
It just feels wrong having the Twins in is it 2027 and the White Sox not.
Because the White Sox are actually looking up. The White Sox are going in the right direction. The Twins are not. So, no, I think the Twins are waiting for 2027.
Okay. New York Mets are the next team here. And they had a interesting offseason. I'm not going to put them in the all-in tier. I know people are expecting me to, but I'm gonna make the argument for no. But let me get up their off-season moves. There we go. They do have 3 pending free agents at the moment: Max Kranick, Frankie Montas, and Jesse Winker.
Frankie Montas, they DFA'd, so yes. That was not even.
Yeah. I think they had the largest list we'll go over this entire time.
Yep.
Starting with the subtractions. Pete Alonso to the Orioles, Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. They traded Brandon Nimmo to the Rangers. They traded Jeff McNeil to the Athletics. Tyler Rogers signs with the Blue Jays. Jet Williams goes to the Brewers with Brendan Sproat in the Peralta trade. Luis Angel Acuna goes to the White Sox on the Luis Robert trade. And then a lot of these deadline guys that they traded for left as well. Cedric Mullins to the Rays, Sterling Marte to the Royals, Ryan Helsley to the Orioles, Gregory Soto to the Pirates, Ryan Stanek to the Cardinals, Danny Young to the Braves, Cooper Criswell, who they acquired off of waivers in the offseason, then traded to the Mariners, Griffin Canning to the Padres, Drew Smith to the Nationals. Their additions: Bo Bichette on a 3-year deal to be the...
It's going to be a 1-year deal.
1-year deal, though. Freddie Peralta, they acquired in a trade with the Brewers, Luis Robert in a trade with the White Sox. Marcus Semien in the trade with the Rangers for Brandon Nimmo. They signed Devin Williams to a 3-year deal. They signed Luke Williams to a 2-year deal. They signed Jorge Polanco to a 2-year deal as well. They also acquired Tobias Myers in the trade with the Brewers. MJ Melendez on a 1-year deal. Luis Garcia on a 1-year deal. Craig Kimbrell on a minor league deal, as well as Mike Tauchman on a minor league deal. And I would love to put the Mets in all in. I absolutely would. And I'm going to put them on the top of improved, and I'm going to let you make your argument. I would put them in all in if they re-signed Edwin Diaz. And it would be Edwin Diaz and Devin Williams in the back of the rotation, or the back of the bullpen. That would be the all in for me. Now, I get it. They replaced Diaz with 2 relievers, with Devin Williams, who I think is going to be good this year, and Luke Weaver, who I think could be good in that 8th inning role. I can see the argument. I'll put him there for right now to let you make your argument. Why are the Mets in the all-in category?
You go and get Bo Bichette, who is one of the best hitters, like just overall hitter, not power hitter, just hitter in general in baseball. Yeah, he's going to play third base. I have a feeling he's going to get a bunch of DH opportunity, though. And he's going to be a big bat. That's your replacement for Alonso in terms of offensive production. You go and trade for the ace that you needed, and you went and traded out of your farm system for that. Love it. You go and get Luis Robert, and you give up nothing. Luis Angel Acuna, who wasn't going to be part of the team. Trading for Marcus Semien, I really like that move, just because I don't like Nimmo in the outfield. I think you're going to get slightly more production from Nimmo in terms of the bat, but Marcus Semien and Lindor up the middle is going to be one of the best up the middle defenses in baseball, along with Luis Robert at center and Alvarez at catcher. That up the middle defense is probably the best in baseball. You go and you get Devin Williams. Yes, I know he did not have a good year last year. He's still going to be a top pitcher, a top closer in baseball. Luke Weaver is going to be a solid 8th inning guy. I like it. Jorge Lopez is a very clutch hitter, and he's got a lot of experience. I like that move. That's going to be another veteran in your clubhouse. I love the Tobias Meyer move. And then you go and get like Luis Garcia and Craig Kimbrell, which have a lot of upside in the bullpen. Yes, you lost a bunch of players, but the fact that, because in terms of, if I didn't think the Mets went all in, the Mets wouldn't have gone as much. Them going and getting up all those players on either a lot of money or giving up 2 top 10 prospects in your system for an ace with 1 year on him, and then Tobias Meyer, that's going all into me. If they went instead, they went and signed, I don't know, Bassett instead of trading for Peralta, that's improved. Going and getting Peralta, that's your. I view them the same way as the Dodgers. You saw some of the pieces you lost in the offseason, they replaced them and they went on.
Okay. That's fair. And I do think the Mets are in all-in mode. They absolutely are. But I just feel like sometimes looking at losing Diaz, losing Alonso. Now, granted, they were part of a core that made the playoffs twice in 7 years.
Yeah.
So to all the people who are like, oh, but they lost them, they didn't really win much with them. So we'll see. Next team, the New York Yankees, and I feel like this was the first team that I thought of, and I'm just going to get it out of the way now. Run it back, New York Yankees. They have made one addition that wasn't on the team last year, if I remember right, and that was Ryan Weathers in a trade.
Something like that.
Because they re-signed Bellinger, they re-signed Grisham, they traded for Ryan Weathers, they re-signed Yarbrough, they re-signed Goldschmidt, they re-signed Rosario, they re-signed Blackbird, and then they gave minor league contracts to Rafael Montero, Randall Grichuk, and Paul DeJong, and then they traded for Angel Shavili from the Rockies. The subtractions, Luke Weaver and Devin Williams to the Mets, Mark Leader Jr. to the Athletics, Ian Hamilton to the Braves, Jonathan Loáisiga to the Diamondbacks, Austin Slater with the Tigers. This is the ultimate running back team because they literally acquired one significant player that wasn't on the team last year.
This is the definition of run it back and then hope that some of your young guys can step up.
And that's not a bad thing for the Yankees. I don't want to make this sound like
it's not a bad thing for the Yankees.
We're anti-Yankees because we're saying run it back. This was a 94-win baseball team last year.
They won 94 games last year. And you know what? You ready? And you're not going to want to hear this part, Nick, but you want to hear their acquisition, their big acquisition? Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole coming back is going to be a big acquisition. Carlos Rodon, when he comes back at the beginning of April, or end of April, that's going to be a big acquisition. Like, that's what I kind of view as big acquisitions for the Yankees this year. And I think it kind of got thrown off when Trent Grisham accepted the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
But bargain hunting Yankees, Dollar Tree Yankees, whatever you want to call them, they're running it back this year.
Yep. We'll move on to the next team. Not much to go over here. No. The Athletics. They re-signed or they extended some players, but I don't. If they're under contract, I don't care. Yeah. Type of thing for an offseason. They currently their acquisitions: Jeff McNeil in the trade with the Mets, 1-year deals for Aaron Savali, Mark Leiter Jr., Scott Barlow. Subtractions: Sean Newcomb to the White Sox, JJ Bleday to the Reds. This is a whole nothing burger here for me. Run it back.
Run it back, but this is a team that's got a very solid
young core. Yes,
I love their core. I wish they got, I don't know, Chris Bassett would have been nice.
Yeah,
or even if they went maybe they could have been a fighter for Ranger Suarez. Because Ranger Suarez is a good ground ball guy, or Framber Valdez would have been nice. I know they're not spending that type of money, but if they could have gotten one more really good pitcher, I've been okay, I'm really happy with their offseason. They didn't do that.
And that one big pitcher could be Gage Jump.
It could be Gage Jump, one of the prospects.
Yeah. So. All right. You want to do the other team that I had penciled into the one category?
Yep.
Run it back, Phillies. Run it back. Philadelphia Phillies. It felt like all they did was re-sign their old players. Max Kepler is their only pending free agent right now, which is not going to get signed because he's currently under a suspension. Kyle Schwarber re-signed for 5 years. I can't believe Real Muto got 3 more years with the Phillies.
That was
Talk about a panic move. Brad Keller signed a 2-year deal. Adolis Garcia signed a 1-year deal. They acquired Jonathan Boland in the trade for Matt Strom with the Royals. They acquired Kyle Beckus in the trade with the Diamondbacks. They signed a 1-year deal to Zach Pop and a minor league deal to Dylan Moore. And their subtractions: Ranger Suarez to the Red Sox, Harrison Bader to the Giants, Nick Castellanos to the Padres, Matt Strom to the Royals, Jordan Romano to the Angels, David Robertson retired, Walker Buehler to the Padres. The more and more I look at this, the more and more I want to go from run it back to slightly worse, if not got worse, because you re-signed your guys. Sure. But you lost Ranger Suarez, who I'm not a huge fan of, but that was a big piece of your rotation.
Oh, yeah, he's been.
And you're replacing it with Andrew Painter, who is a year and a half off of Tommy John surgery and struggled in AAA last year. So, I am an Andrew Painter guy. I think that he could be really solid for the Phillies. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. Once he gets acclimated. I want to say the Phillies got worse, but is it slightly worse or just got worse?
I think they got worse. Because you look at it, and I like what you mentioned. You brought back Schwarber. You brought back Real Muto, which I don't like the Real Muto contract.
Oh, no. 3 years is ridiculous for
That's crazy. 5-year deal for Schwarber. That's fine. I'm all right with that. My biggest thing, you replaced Harrison Bader with Adolis Garcia.
It's either that or it's
dog shit since the World Series.
It's either that or Aiden Miller Crawford.
Yeah, I would hope in Crawford, but Adolis Garcia, I think has a high 6s OPS since the World Series.
Yeah,
he's been awful, and the fact that they signed him and gave him $10 million is insane to me. And the whole Nick Castellanos thing. If you would have traded him and you would have gotten something back for him, cool. I would have said slightly worse. You ate $20 million and DFA'd him. I'm going to be voting for Nick Castellanos every single day to make the All-Star.
In Philadelphia.
I'm going to make sure that I go and I vote every single day for Nick Castellanos to make the All-Star. But that's not the point.
That's going to be great.
And yes, I know we're Mets fans. Philly got worse. We're not even like we would have given them their props if they got better. They did. Like, honestly, tell me how they got better in the comment section below. Tell me say that I'm a Mets biased and prove to me why I'm wrong here.
Yeah, tell me who the Phillies got that isn't re-signing anybody. Just tell us they got better.
Yeah, tell me that.
Let's talk about a team that did get better.
I love this.
Pittsburgh.
I'm so high on this team.
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ridiculously high on this
Current free agents for them right now are Tommy Pham.
Don't care.
And then their acquisitions, Brennan Lau.
Love it.
In a 3-team trade. Ryan O'Hearn.
Love it.
Marcelo Ozuna.
Don't love it.
Jose Urquidy to a 1-year deal. Gregory Soto to a 1-year deal. Jake Magnum, 3-team trade. Mason Montgomery in that 3-team trade. And they got the password from the Red Sox in the Oviedo trade. They lost Andrew McCutchen to the Rangers. I can't believe they didn't give him a minor league deal.
Honestly,
that was so wrong. Wrong.
Why did we get Ozuna? Why did they get Ozuna when they could have just re-signed McCutchen?
Because Ozuna has a better bat.
You went from great vibes to guy that should be in jail.
Criminal. Yeah. They also lost Mike Burrows and Colin Holderman.
I'm all right with losing Mike Burrows just because they one thing with Pittsburgh, pitching. They have pitching death out the wazoo. And they even have another guy coming up, which I know he's not going to be there for a while. 100% improved.
Yeah, I would love to put him in there. I'm going to put him there because they acquired the criminal and Marcelo. They improved. They absolutely improved. Offensively, this should be a better baseball team, and I think this is a team that can fight for a wild card spot.
And I want to add one more acquisition on there. Please, for the love of God, put Connor Griffin on the opening day roster. Please do it, because that would be the biggest acquisition they can make.
Yes,
100%. And then you have Paul Skeens, who's going to be the ace again, and Bubba Chandler, and hopefully you get Jared Jones back sometime this year. Like that, I'm looking at all this. This pitching rotation is legit, so I like it.
We'll move on. A team that really didn't do, or actually they did a little.
They did a bunch at the end.
They did a bunch, but I don't think they got better because of it. Now their acquisition list is way longer than their subtractions, but Michael King re-signed a 3-year deal. Sung Mung Song signed a 4-year deal. Miguel Andujar, a 1-year deal. Kyle Hart re-signed for 1 year. Ty Adcock to 1 year. Dyson Acosta to a 1-year deal. Tristan McKenzie to a minor league deal is interesting. Griffin Canning to a 1-year deal. Love it. Nick Castellanos to a 1-year deal and league minimum. Love it. Ty France to a minor league deal. Herman Marquez, see what he can do outside of course. And Walker Buehler to a minor league deal. Love that. They lost Dylan Cease, one pitcher I think can absolutely break out this year. Or not break out this year, but have a really, really strong year. And with Toronto, I don't be shocked when he gets Cy Young votes. Luis Arias, I think that's addition by subtraction. I'm not an Arias fan. Robert Suarez in the back of that bullpen. They have so much bullpen help, though. Ryan O'Hearn, Pirates, went to the Pirates as well. Somewhere in the middle here. I just don't know where.
Run it back. I think that's a safe place to put them.
Here's the thing, though, is I don't think that they got better, though. I
don't think they got better. I don't think they got worse. They're kind of a team that I don't think they make the playoffs this year. I'll be honest. And I'll even say I think they're not even the second best team in the division because that'll be the next team we talk about. I would put them in running back. I think they're. I like the sign. I like them bringing back Michael King because I know I wanted him on the Mets, but that's not the point. Other than that, Griffin Canning could be a interesting piece. They lose Dylan Cease, which he needed to go somewhere where they play better defense anyway. And I don't really care about Luis Suarez. Run it back.
All right, San Francisco Giants. Current free agents: Tom Murphy, Joey Lucchesi, and Wilmer Flores.
2 former Mets.
Someone sign Flores, please.
Please.
But their acquisitions: Harrison Bader to a 2-year deal. Love that. Luis Arias, and they expect him to play second base. Sure they do. Tyler Mahle to a 1-year deal. Adrian
Right.
Hauser to a 2-year deal.
Like it.
Don't hate that. Sam Hedges to a 1-year deal. Jason Foley to a 1-year deal for some bullpen help. And Will Brennan on a 1-year deal. They lost Justin Verlander and Andrew Kitchener. They didn't really lose much, but I don't know how much they really gained. I want to say slightly improved.
I love the move for Harrison Bader.
But what would you say slightly improved? And I'm going to put them at the top of slightly improved.
I agree. It would be slightly improved if they.
They went out and got an ace.
Mahle and Hauser. Well, they don't need an ace.
True, they got Logan Webb.
They got Logan Webb and Robbie Ray is still there. No, I like what they did. No, I like this. And I think Whisenhunt's going to be solid. I think he's going to be able to kind of have a good year this year. No, I like the moves the Giants made.
Right.
And I think the Giants could be a wild card team.
Yeah. Moving on, Seattle Mariners. They acquired Josh Naylor, and they re-signed him, 5-year deal. They got Brendan Donovan on a 3-year deal, or 3-team trade, my bad. They acquired Jose A. Ferrer from the Nationals, Rob Refsnyder, a 1-year deal, Andrew Kittner, 1-year deal, Mitch Garver signed a minor league contract, and they acquired Cooper Criswell from the Mets. Their subtractions, Suarez went to the Reds, Polanco to the Mets, Harry Ford to the Nationals in the Ferrer trade, Ferguson to the Reds, Santos to the Giants, Sinja in that Cardinals trade, and same with Ben Williamson. Ben Williamson went to the Rays in that 3-team trade. Is this just another slightly improved team? Like, I don't think – how much do they truly improve? Because losing Suarez and losing Polanco is not good. I liked Harry Ford. I think that – but he was kind of blocked with Cal Raleigh there.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
So that was kind of tricky there. I like Sinja. I think that he's going to be a right-handed pitcher going forward, though. He's not going to do the switch pitching much. Slightly improved the Mariners?
I want to put them improved. Because they're going to have a couple of their young prospects coming up to play second and third. And Brendan Donovan's going to be a nice filler piece for all that. I love the Brendan Donovan move. I don't think they overspend for him. Because at the end of the day, they want to go and try to win the World Series this year. And I feel like they were a Brendan Donovan away from making the World Series last year. Bringing back Josh Naylor was great. They lost Eugenio Suarez. I know this might be a contrarian opinion. I don't care.
He wasn't great in Seattle.
He was awful with them because he is a home run hitter, and T-Mobile Park is one of the worst places to hit. So I'm okay with that, with not bringing him back. Polanco, the Mariners weren't going to give him $20 million a year. And they have young guys coming up to the point where they didn't really need to. I like Ferrer for the bullpen. I really think I believe he's a lefty that has a really nasty arm slot. That's going to be good for them. And I love Rob Refsnyder. That's going to be like a platoon bat. I think they got better. I would say improved. Because they would put them. It puts them, honestly. If you look, and we'll talk about the Cardinals in a minute. If you look at the Seattle Mariners, but then bringing in who do you see as the best team in the American League?
The Yankees.
You still think the Yankees are better than the Mariners? Because I think the Mariners would be my team to make the World Series.
I think come playoff time, the Yankees will be better suited to make a deeper playoff run than the Mariners, in my opinion.
I'll disagree with you because I love that. I love that rotation. They're getting more and more.
Also, I'd like to throw the Detroit Tigers in that mix as well with that 1-2 of Skubal and Framber.
Correct. I don't know. I think Seattle would be my favorite to win the American League right now.
That's fair.
I saw where you're putting the Cardinals. I want to say not quite yet.
I would love to know what your argument behind that is.
I just don't think I can give up on the Cardinals. I know for a while I was thinking, man, they're going to be the worst team in baseball, and in terms of the 2026 season, they definitely got worse. But in the long run, I think they're going to get a lot better. And in terms of is it 2027 yet? All those teams have there's really no reason to watch them. Okay, fine, Nationals, James Wood.
Okay, what's the reason to watch the Cardinals this year?
J.J. Weatherholt is going to be a big piece that I'm interested in watching. Obviously, I love Alec Burleson, so I'm going to watch them for that. I think you can get a big step up from Matthew Levator. I think Dick Fitz could have a really nice year in St. Louis. I can't believe they're actually giving Dustin May United States dollars. I think that's kind of crazy. I think Brandon Clark could be an interesting spot, and I see what you just did.
Yeah.
And I love them getting St. John. I think you might be able to see him debut too.
Not this year, but maybe in 27. And here's the thing that makes me put them in: is it 2027? They traded away Contreras, they traded away Gray, they traded away Arenado, they traded away Donovan, they traded away Michaelis as well.
The only reason I would put him in got worse instead of that, I want to put them in a tier above the Twins because they did what I wanted the Twins to do.
Sell.
They sold all their big pieces. Like, who are the other pieces that they have not sold yet? Lars Nootbaar? Like, what other pieces can they sell?
I put the Cardinals in front of them.
Fine. That works.
But yeah, no, like the Cardinals, they are not competing in 2026.
Would you be surprised if they finished fourth place?
Yes, I would be. I think they are the worst team in that division. I don't think it's particularly close. Who would be finishing below them?
I don't think Cincinnati has enough offense.
That's fair. I still think Cincinnati finishes better than
Cincinnati's better than
St. Louis.
I just don't think they have enough offense.
Yeah, because when you have Miles Michaelis starting opening day, I have no interest in the St. Louis Cardinals. Wait, no, Miles Michaelis went to.
This is gonna be opening day for Washington.
Yeah, Washington. My bad. But like, who's your opening day starter?
It's gonna be Levator.
Yeah. To the Rays, and I feel like the running back tier is the definition of the Rays because just all the moves they make, they're very similar to the Brewers. They acquired Steven Matz on a 2-year deal, Nick Martinez on a 1-year deal, Gavin Lux on a 3-team trade, Ben Williamson on a 3-team trade, Cedric Mullins on a 1-year deal, Jacob Melton in a 3-team trade. They love their 3-team trades, don't they?
Yes,
they were in 3 different 3-team trades.
If 2 teams want to get in a trade, the Rays are like, hey, what can we do to get involved?
Man, it feels like they're the cuck team half the time on the.
They're the third wheel.
They're the third wheel on every trade.
If you see a couple, and then there's me and you and me and your friend Steve. Steve is for
the Rays. The Rays. They lost this year Brendan Lau on that 3-team trade. Shane Boz, Josh Lowe, Pete Fairbanks, Jake Magnum, Mason Montgomery, Adrian Hauser, Christopher Morel, Cameron Mitzner. I mean, as much as I would love to put them in there, I think they got slightly worse. If not, they got worse. I'm going to put them in slightly worse. I'm not a fan of the Rays this year. And I think the moves they made, obviously, very similar to the Brewers, so we can make the argument that the Brewers got slightly worse as well. I think you have to put the Rays and the Brewers in the same category. I think slightly worse is fine with them.
I think I see the Rays and the Cardinals as the exact same team.
How?
What did the Rays do this year? They sold a bunch of their big pieces for some other pieces. I'm not going to say it's 2027 yet because knowing the Rays, they have black magic, and you never know. They could easily make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They could easily sneak into a wild card spot. We look back and go, how the hell did they get in?
Yeah.
And one of the big factors. And how about an acquisition, once again, Shane McClanahan. Please stay healthy. And I heard a very interesting stat from the Just Baseball show. The last time Shane McClanahan pitched in a MLB game was a week before Paul Skeens made his minor league debut.
Huh.
Please, Shane McClanahan, stay healthy for us. I'm asking you nicely. We want to see you pitch. 2 teams left.
Yep, the Texas Rangers. They're a weird team. They have currently 5 free agents still. Patrick Corbin, Danny Colmy, John Gray, Donathan Solano, Rowdy Tellez. They acquired Mackenzie Gore in a trade with the Nationals. They acquired Brendan Nimmo in a trade with the Mets. They signed Danny Jansen to a 2-year deal, Jordan Montgomery to a 1-year deal. They re-signed Chris Martin to a 1-year deal, Alexis Diaz to a 1-year deal, Jacob Junis to a 1-year deal, Tyler Anderson to a 1-year deal, Andrew McCutchen, minor league deal. Austin Gomber. I actually really like that addition, Austin Gomber. I want to see what he does not in Coors Field. Same with the GOAT Cal Quantrill and Ryan Brazier. Josh Shaboris as well. They re-signed him to a minor league deal. Subtractions, they traded Marcus Semien to the New York Mets. They non-tendered Adolis Garcia. Merrill Kelly went to the Diamondback, went back to the Diamondbacks. Phil Maton to the Cubs, as well as Colby Milner, as well as Jacob Webb. Sean Armstrong to the Guardians, Tyler Mahle to the Giants, Jonah Heim to the Braves, Gavin Fiend to the Nationals, and Dylan Moore to the Phillies. What's your thoughts on this Rangers team? I don't know what to make of them.
I think they are going to be mid. I want to say run it back. I really want to say run it back for them. Their rotation is going to look pretty similar besides adding Mackenzie Gordon to there. Other than that, they dropped out. They got rid of Simeon for Nimmo. I think that's going to be better offensively for them, which they definitely needed. No, what? Screw it. I'd put them in slightly improved because they got rid of Adolis Garcia, who was dog shit. They got rid of Merrill Kelly, who was there for half a year and wasn't really great with them. They got rid of Phil Maton, which I'm not super high on. Colby Miller, I wish stayed. Sean Armstrong, former East Carolina Pirate, so I like him. Other than that, Jonah Heim, they non-tendered. He hadn't been good for a while for the last couple of years. I think additions by subtraction, I think they got slightly better.
Fair. Last team on the list, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
They acquired Dylan Cease, a 7-year deal, Kazuma Okamoto to a 4-year deal, Tyler Rogers, 3-year deal, Cody Ponce, 3-year deal, Max Scherzer on a 1-year deal. They acquired Jesus Sanchez. They acquired Chase Leach from the Tigers, and they re-signed Eloy Jimenez. They lost Bo Bichette, and then they also lost Chris Bassett, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Joey Loperfido. They traded him to the Astros in the Jesus Sanchez trade. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Red Sox, and then Ty France to the Padres. I am contemplating between two spots for them, and that is they improved or they're all in. Because I think the Dylan Cease move is an all-in move. I think the Okamoto is an all-in move. I think the Tyler Rogers move is an all-in move.
I would go all in.
I think the Blue Jays are all in this year.
I think it's going to be an all-in for them. They lost Bo Bichette, but I feel like he was. He wouldn't be a similar feeling to the Kyle Tucker because they actually
they thought he could come back.
But I think they're better defensively without him. I think they're going to be just fine without him. They're going to miss the bat, but I don't know. I think they'll be fine. Chris Bassett wasn't innings either. That's fine. They picked up. And I'm going to say this one. Ready? Out of all their additions, I think the one that's going to pan out the best for them, Cody Ponce.
Ooh, yeah.
He was absolutely nasty in
KBO.
Korea. Yeah, Korea. I think he's going to be really good. And he's going to be like your 4 or 5 starter. And I think he's going to be one of the better pitchers in that rotation. And not to mention Dylan Cease. I think he's going to have a lot better of a year if you look at his ERA to ERA plus or his FIP to xFIP or whatever.
He's going to be awesome this year.
The defense behind him in San Diego was awful. In terms of OAA, I believe the Toronto Blue Jays were number 1 last year. That's one of the reasons why they made a run to the World Series was their defense. I think Dylan Cease could get Cy Young votes this year. Easily. Cody Ponce can get Cy Young votes this year. I'm going to put that one out there. I think that could be a very. I think if he has the upside that I think he does, I think he could do it as well. At the same time, I still think the Blue Jays are going to drop back a little bit from last year, but we'll talk about that in another video. I definitely think it's an all-in for them, though.
Yeah, but that is all the teams grading their off seasons. For all-in, we have the Dodgers, the Tigers, the Mets, and the Blue Jays. For improved, the Orioles, the Cubs, the White Sox, the Pirates. Slightly improved, Giants, Diamondbacks, Royals, Mariners, Rangers. Run it back, the Yankees, the Braves, the Red Sox, the Reds, the Athletics, and Padres. Slightly worse, Astros, Rays, and Brewers. Got worse, Guardians, Marlins, and Phillies. And then is it 2027? Rockies, Nationals, Angels, Cardinals, and Twins.
I like it. Good list.
Yep.
Good video.
But that is going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching. Let us know down in the comment section below what we did right, what we did wrong in this video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.